blame, you net it.
I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Marrying it with EMP and then a middle P. Gotta get myself a bag before the bull run. Gotta take some me, should stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Marrying it with EMP and then a middle P. Gotta get myself a bag before the bull run. Gotta take some me, should stick it in the ballroom. E-pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Stacking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these nodes feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, not the detonator. I'll kill in every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Marrying it with EMP and then a metal P. Gotta get myself a bag before the bull run. Gotta take some me, should stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Marrying it with EMP and then a metal P. Gotta get myself a bag before the bull run. Gotta take some me, should stick it in the ballroom.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, with all the updates on not only EMP, but now our entire ecosystem, and Mondays are usually a banger. We have a lot of great updates to give for the week, but before we get started, I also want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Oh, baby, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm feeling really amped up today, ready to have an amazing call with all you guys. Woo.
100% LA. I know we always try to psych ourselves up before these AMAs, but it's been a really productive day. Again, lots of headway. We'll talk all about it today. So sit back, relax. Again, these go for about an hour. Lots to cover, so this one might be a little bit longer, and hopefully my voice will hold out. I tried to take a break, spend some family time over the weekend, but we've done about 20 AMAs in the last 10 days, so my voice is starting to feel it, but LA can probably step in and take over on some stuff, and we may even have some guests as well. So, all right, well, before we jump right into it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, we've had some amazing growth on the YouTube channel as well. Our subscriber count is up. Our daily or our weekly views are up. So please make sure that you're supporting the YouTube channel. That really helps us grow and get our message out. And all the ad revenue that we collect will go towards supporting our ecosystem as well. So it's a great way to, invest in your investment without having to have new capital for sure. So, all right, well, I think we're just going to jump right in. Again, today's AMA will do a lot more heavy focus on Sparkswap. I know, all of you are, all of our communities are coming together over the AMAs now. But we will get into it. But before we spend the majority of the time on that, we have some other updates. Obviously, we'll talk about all of our protocols individually. But first up is L1 DEX. So again, major headway still being done in the background. We're working with L1X directly, getting all the SDKs finalized, getting all the groundwork laid, so to speak, and some really bullish updates on the wallet as well. We got in a little bit of trouble. Again, the AMAs are always great for the inside info. We announced an announcement that we probably shouldn't have announced. So in regards to the wallet, we took it down. Some of you have seen that, but that announcement will be tweaked and put up hopefully this week. We don't want to step on toes of L1X, and they wanted to make sure that they had this major approval done before we announce what we did, and I'm happy to say that that has happened. So the L1X team announced that the wallet has been approved in the Chrome store, and they're just implementing a few final security measures and ways for people to get early access before they release it. So again, in crypto, everybody thinks that there's delays and those delays are turned into FUD, but we're doing our best to communicate well with everybody, while also respecting, the other team members as well. Again, we're not part of L1X, so we have to spin a lot of plates, trying to again be good communicators, but also not step on any toes. So, LA, anything you want to add to L1 Dex before we move on?
Not really. Just that if you're not already a part of the L1X Discord, they have announced a number of things regarding the Chrome extension and their plans to implement increased security measures and all that stuff. And I know that they're posting updates as they have them, and we'll continue to post all the information that we get the thumbs up to post in our channels. We do have to kind of get the clearance to make sure everything's cohesive before we put it out. So make sure you're keeping an eye on both channels for all the most updated information.
Yeah, 100%. And again, we have a very unique relationship working with L1X directly. But really, when it comes to the chain and the wallet, all of that should be really fielded through the L1X socials, their Discord, their Twitter, and whatnot. And again, once we have the go-ahead to post more relevant details about the DEX and how it all plays in with claiming and the pre-sale and now the public sale, all of that will be published. It's just again, timing is crucial, and we'll have more up hopefully on Thursday. We'll have a lot more to talk about with L1 Dex. Again, we're continuing to build out all the cross-chain swaps utilizing the SDKs, and just making sure we're triple or quadruple tested, and solid before we really roll things out. So, and we may have a guest speaker as well, either later today or on Thursday, in regards to the wallet. So I'll let you guys figure out who that might be. But all right, awesome. So next bit of news is Rhyze. So a lot of you may not have heard of Rhyze. This is some VIPs and some members that are a little more in tune with the crypto sphere have heard of Rhyze through the grapevine. But Rhyze is a really unique project that I've actually been asked to be a consultant on. The two people running it are two veterans in the DeFi space, and we will have an AMA with them on the 15th. So that is Friday at noon Eastern or 4 p.m. UTC. We'll go over what Rhyze is, how it plays into EMP or EMP fusion, and why you should pay attention to Rhyze. So again, I don't want to drop too much alpha on that, but it's something that we were teasing for a while. We were supposed to have an AMA last week, but they were implementing some UI changes. Things look a lot more clear and concise now, and that is on Matic. So if you're on Polygon or Matic, you can maybe get a bit of a head start checking out Rhyze. But that will be an AMA again on Friday. That will not interfere with our other AMAs scheduled for the rest of the week. So, all right, cool. All right, now into the meat and potatoes of what the AMA will be about today, and that is Sparkswap. So over the weekend we had a lot of early profit taking. I think I've said I did a big announcement in Sparkswap, multiple announcements actually, on my thoughts and my reassurance, and we'll go over a lot of that today. But really, it's also about and I hate to use the word victim, but we are a bit of a victim of our own success, because I think even though we have had such a great start, any sort of profit taking or price dump, so to speak, in the chart can get a little over exaggerated because we have had such an amazing launch. So, I think we had a healthy correction. We found a new floor, and now we've had an amazing bounce today. The token's looking really good, and that's super healthy for us long term. And corrections are healthy because it allows people to get involved without buying the top. And as a crypto veteran, that is one of the hardest things to learn in your crypto journey is to always have some funds in reserve where you're never just aping all in and buying the top of a project, that you always have some in reserve to DCA or dollar cost average when we see a big dip like we have seen. So again, we'll talk more about that in a minute. But amazing AMA today with midnight calls as well. LA, you want to talk about that real quick? Or I know you were in the audience. Hopefully it
Mm-hmm.
was as bullish as it was for me being in the hot seat. But yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't help but send AJ a GIF straight after that said, "You absolutely smashed it."
Yeah.
That's my terrible British accent. But it was one of the judges from, I think, uh, Britain's Got Talent or X Factor, one of those shows from England. But we have the amazing Fifi, who was our host, and she's one of our favorite AMA hosts. From midnight calls, we had a great attendance, over 120 people, and AJ absolutely smashed it. Not only talking about Sparkswap, but the entire EMP ecosystem and everything we're building. We saw a huge gradual spike in the charts from pretty much that moment on for the rest of the day. It's been lots of great momentum all day long. And we, I don't really know what else to say, but that's just one of many that we have planned for the weekend. I'll go into that a little bit more in a bit here, but bullish start to the week. It fired me up, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again, we like to get in these call groups that we have some relationships with. And Fifi again had remembered EMP from way back. So it's really awesome to start getting in front of these AMA hosts again that actually remember us, and that says a lot for the impression that the community has made, and really being a trusted and successful ecosystem that we are building out. So, and yeah, again, the chart had a great bounce from that AMA. Again, who knows? Maybe it was directly related, maybe it wasn't, but we're doing everything we can to get the word out. And speaking of that, we have even more incredible AMAs coming this week. With again, I don't know if we want to spill the beans, but some big dogs, right? LA, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, before we get into that, I was just gonna say, not only did she remember us, but we very in detail remembered her, and I just wanted to like give you
Totally.
guys just a little bit of insight into my process. But I take really detailed notes during and after every AMA about how I think it went, what type of results I think we got from it, the types of questions that the host asked, and if it felt like they did their research, how many people showed up, and I had all those notes from previous AMA trains, and so I had really detailed, great notes about her and how intelligent questions she asked and how it seemed like she did her research, and she showed up the exact same way today, and we love her as a host, and she proved us right once again. So we love that. But yeah, so today I secured another big one for us that AJ is going to hop on with tomorrow, and that one is going to be released on Thursday. We have a big event coming up on Wednesday that we're going to tell you about in a bit, and then we've got another live one on Thursday. So we've got big stuff coming up pretty much every day this week, and it's going to be an exciting week ahead. We've got some bangers this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. And again, we don't stop. I know everybody, the classic adage of when marketing, even when we see the token correct, over 50%, that is not at all a time that we give up or we get uninterested. Again, token price is pretty irrelevant to us as a team. Obviously, we want, healthy economics and we want the price to go up, just like all of you. But that in no way is an indication of the, drive and health of the protocol long term. So, even with
Yep.
everything happening, we continue to move forward and continue to build. And again, I think today we saw that pay off again on Monday when the overall markets are dumping. We're having an amazing recovery. So that's a great
Hmm.
sign for sure. Go ahead, Ellie. Yep.
One thing I do want to say is, and I was kind of having a talk with my mom about this today. As a team, all of us, I would say, one of the traits that we all share is we all have a lot of resilience and mental fortitude. Um, all of us really very much so believe in what we're building and don't shake or spook even 1% when we have weekends or days when the chart dips. We stick to the plan, we keep going, and we keep doing exactly what we intended to do because we know exactly where we're going. And, uh, you've heard me speak a lot about manifestation. You may be into it, you may not be into it, but I always know exactly where I'm going and I stare at the end point in my mind. And to me, it doesn't matter how many mountains I have to climb to get there. It matters that I get there and I know exactly where I'm going. And I feel like we're all very goal oriented. Um, and because I know that we're going to achieve what we set out to, or even far more, it's good things always come our way. Even if, you get knocked down, you get up 10 times if you get knocked down 9, right? But anyways, the chart can move. We stick to the plan. That was the whole point of that whole I rambled, but
I
yeah, that was
love
the
it.
whole point.
No, that's the little nuggets that we love in these AMAs. And yeah, I mean, obviously, Ellie and I share a very similar mindset, but it carries over to the overall health of our community as well. And yeah, the more that we can talk about, having that long-term vision, being goal-oriented, like Ellie said, I mean, that really is what helps successful projects get to the next level. And we obviously embrace that at EMP and everything, all the ecosystem that we're building. So, all right, awesome, good stuff, LA. Yeah, just a little more key metrics, and then we can talk a little bit more in depth on some other things that happened this week. Again, the chart's looking great. A little bit of a dip, but a nice recovery. And again, I think we get caught up too much sometimes on a chart. You have to realize that the way Sparkswap is designed is that you're able to take profits through Sparkler without ever having to sell the Spark token. And I think that is going to be a long journey. We saw that same sort of journey at EMP. Again, relying on the education piece to get people informed, but the money doesn't lie. And I think the more that we show people that Sparkler is an absolute monster and that you can actually make more. Again, don't take my word for it. Look at the actual math, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But I mean, it is a much better way to profit in the ecosystem without having that sell pressure on Spark. And really, I think the major sell-off over the weekend was sparked by just some very minor things. And one of those was a large whale that completely exited the protocol. So again, this is somebody that loaded up massively in the beginning, and that's why we had such a healthy chart. Again, we don't know who it is. We definitely look at on-chain data, but we're not out here to expose anybody or sell shame anybody. You're able to do whatever you want in the protocol, and that's the beauty of crypto. But the reality is that big whale literally exited the protocol over 3 days, and that was the majority of the selling pressure that we saw on the token, and why we had a gradual downtrend over the last 3 days or so. But again, now that the rail is out, now that people that their confidence is building, again, crypto is very emotional, and honestly, that's not how you should be playing the game, so to speak. You when it comes to successful investment and long-term wealth, you really have to take emotions out of it. And again, that is a very, very hard concept for anybody, even me as a crypto veteran. It is hard to remove your emotions, but nothing has fundamentally changed here at Sparkswap and all of our projects. And if you believe in the long term, then any sort of sell-off is actually opportunity. And when you can train your mind to think of it that way, again, there's a fine line. Don't I'm sure people will clip this and say, well, what about the projects that go to zero and, everybody's saying to compound or reinvest and everybody, goes down with the ship. Well, those projects are not EMP, they're not Sparkswap, they're not L1 DEX. They are not projects that are continuing to build, and no matter what the price of the token does, we pivot or we implement things that help the protocol in whatever way possible. So there is a very fine distinction between the two. But again, SparkSwap specifically, a lot of top tokens on Pulsechain have seen some major dips over the last few days, and whether we like it or not, we are tied to the Pulse LP, and once Pulse starts going up again, that will drag the price of Spark with it. And, if we see an SEC ruling or Richard Hart start, coming back and settling with SEC or starting to promote the chain again, I mean, we could see Spark absolutely do wonders because we are tied to PLS. So it's a double-edged sword. Right now, it may be, a little bit, again, uncertain. But once we see Pulse start taking off, that helps our price, it helps our volume, it helps the amount of people that we can get exposed to. And again, going into the next bull run, that will be really, really important long term for sure. So, all right, Elliot, anything you want to elaborate on with that before I move into some other points?
The bull run must be coming. My mom sent me a link today and said, "Hey, have you read that article I sent you? I think the bull is coming."
I love it. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, she knows nothing about crypto, so if she's saying that, remember you said when your grandma starts talking about
Yeah, totally.
it?
So, and yeah, that's a great sign. We are all still early for sure. So, yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. Well, some other points that I want to go over is this inflationary to non-inflationary model. So we saw a lot of talk about this in the chat over the weekend. Some people were saying, because of the inflation is why the token goes down. Well, there is some, truth to that, but you have to understand that emissions are directly related to use case and the actual dollar amount that represents the emission. So, and again, I put this in the announcement that we made, but as the token price goes down, Spark, the token price, goes down, it's actually much less selling pressure on Spark with the same amount of emission. So again, this is a really important distinction. At $1 per Spark, we have almost $80,000 a day in potential selling pressure. But at a 50-cent Spark, or half of that, we have half the selling pressure. So the emissions don't change, but as we find an equilibrium of a fair market value of Spark, it reduces the amount of selling pressure as well. So I think people always, jump to well, dev do something, or an end all be all fix, and they don't realize that it's a lot more complicated than that. And, as the Spark price goes down, it's a way for the system to almost, protect itself because it's less dollar value that is potentially sold into the LP. So, and really, again, the solution is Sparkler. And, I think people are still sleeping on it. We have some updated metrics that are really bullish. So I think people are finally starting to get it. But it's going to take time. And the idea is that we, instead of having to sell your Spark to make money, you're actually able to profit through Sparkler in a much more healthy way, not only for the protocol, but for you as the investor as well. Because, again, the analogy I like to use is, would you rather have $10 today or $1 for 100 days? And surprisingly, a lot of people say $10 today. Well, again, that's 10 times less the amount that you would get if you took the other option of $1 for 100 days. And again, that's about having the long-term mindset. So right now, we have to have this inflationary model because that's what allows us to pay high APR. It gets people excited. It gets people, in the door. But over time, we will transition away from the inflationary model, which again means that there is no new Spark that is minted. And once that happens, just based on supply and demand, that could be an overnight catalyst of the Spark price going up. So again, I'm not here to speculate on price, but I know those that are selling, Spark every day may regret not holding or going into Sparkler when we finally do get off of the inflation, and there is a maximum cap on the amount of Spark in existence, and Spark could actually become deflationary because we would use a portion of the protocol fees to buy and burn Spark as well. So this is all part of the plan. Again, it's only been 2 weeks, and we don't build protocols, with a 2 week time horizon. We look much farther than that, and there will be some volatility, but know that in the long term, the goal is to structure it where everybody can benefit for sure. So, Ellie, anything you want to add to that before we continue on?
I think you nailed it. I will say, just to add to what you said at the end there, just know that this is something that we first started talking about nearly a year ago and have been working pretty diligently behind the scenes on for at least the last few months,
For
six
sure.
months. I don't know how many months because every week feels like a year. But there's no way we would do that to build a 2 week protocol. We do everything with the intention of it being long term, or we would never start it. So
Yeah, no, absolutely, LA. And again, I think, yes, you can take our word for that, but you can also, not take our word and look at the track record that we have as well. I mean, again, even though EMP is down and eShare is down, the farms are still paying every day, and we've never given up. We're always building, and that's 2 years, which again is an eternity in crypto, for sure. So. All right. Again, the whole idea is that we just need to continue to drive home how Sparkler is the ultimate passive income play, regardless of the Spark price. So let me pull up our infographic, and then we can talk a little bit more here. So again, there's this graphic. There's also another graphic that's a slight variation of this, but the bottom line is regardless of Spark price, and we talked about this in on the announcement I made, the APR on Sparkler actually went up while the token price of Spark went down, which just shows what a monster Sparkler is. And so, again, the more people that understand this, the healthier it is for the protocol overall, and the more money all of us are able to make in the long term as well. So what happens is by instead of selling your Spark, You can either buy Spark off the market and go directly into Sparkler, or you can create LP in any of the farms or pools. You would then again claim the Spark, and instead of just selling it for an instant profit, which again, if you want to make up some of your fees, the in and out fees of the pools and farms, I understand that. And so taking profit on that would be fine. But long term, rather than just selling all your Spark every day, you're able to deposit into Sparkler, where it's literally a pulse printing machine. And what happens is all the fees of the protocol, the swap fees, the in and out fees, all of that is used to buy both Spark and PLS, which puts buying pressure on Spark. And if people aren't selling Spark, that would make the token go up, again, just based on supply and demand. And then you're able to profit in Sparkler. Again, we're never ever telling anybody that they're not entitled to a profit. It's how you take your profit that is most important. And by earning the LPs from Sparkler, you earn Spark PLS LP. You're earning actual pulse that you could then break the LP and use that pulse to either, hodl or buy more Spark or, go into PDI. I know that's the big thing right now on Pulse, or just put it into a stable token that you can build your bags with. But you're taking profit in Pulse without ever having to sell the Spark. Then you do another stake in Sparkler with the Spark you have, and it compounds the money printing effect, and that's why we call it the infinite money generator. Again, being a little bit tongue in cheek with that, but it really is something that is doable as long as people understand how this all works. So, and again, this is all part of the long-term plan. Somebody also said, well, doesn't the inflation affect Sparkler? And no, that's another big misconception. None of the inflation from Spark goes into Sparkler. We're literally using the fees to buy Spark, not mint it. So this is why Sparkler is just a game changer, because it literally provides buying pressure on Spark. It rewards all the users that are in it, and it deepens our liquidity all at the same time. So, again, please don't sleep on Sparkler. None of this is financial advice, but the maximum stakes in Sparkler, and that was one more point. I'll be getting ahead of myself here. But another thing I hear a lot is, well, I'm not going to lock my token up for 10 years. The protocol may not be around in 10 years. Well, I can say we're doing everything we can to be here in 10 years. But even if you didn't believe that wholeheartedly, you can ROI in a matter of a month or 2 months. So it doesn't matter that you're burning your token. In a month or two, you're earning way more pure profit from Sparkler than you ever would have just by, selling Spark outright. And if you're bullish on the Spark, if you're bullish on Spark long term, this is also a way to generate yourself more Spark. So again, because you're rewarded in LP, you're always earning more Spark as well. So, and as the price of Spark goes up, it's a flywheel effect that is positive for everybody, because even if you're not bullish on Sparkler, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but you want the token price of Spark to go up, because the higher the token price on Spark in terms of dollar value, it's also the higher the APR in the farms and pools. So, again, back to the whale, which was the beginning part of this conversation. You're literally flooding your own bags or dumping on your own head when you sell Spark, because it reduces the APR in all the farms and pools anyway. So again, I know there's a lot to take in. I get a little bit fired up when I talk about it, but hopefully that helped give you all a little bit more of a picture on what we're building and how all the economics work together. So LA, anything you want me to elaborate on before we go into some other bullet points?
I think we were going to call on a special guest to help us with this part as well, right?
Yeah, totally. So, Vino, are you around? I know I put him on the spot last time.
Get to the spot.
I love it. That is Vino's Arnold impression, inspired by Cool Sheets. So, right on, Vino. How are you, brother?
God damn, dude, I had to do that. Cool Sheets videos are off the chain. I had to do it. I told him I was going to do it anyways.
I love it, man. So, yeah, a little inside joke. If you're not following Cool Sheets or Cool Sheet, you need to. So, but yeah, Vino, again, bro, you've been doing some great on-chain analysis. I'd love to hear your take on circulating supply and how bullish Sparkler really is.
Yeah, so it's actually over the past, I think, 5 or 6 days, the amount of Spark that's actually locked in the contract has been moving up by about 7 to 8%, I believe, from that time frame. But the current supply of Spark is 2.33 million tokens, which seems quite a bit considering that we launched at 804,000 tokens, which is actually a 2.8. It's 2.9. We'll round up 2.9x in the supply, but the Sparkler actually holds almost a million tokens, 958,000 Spark in the contract, and that's locked up. It's you can't sell it, you can't do anything with it, but it also varies between the time lock. But this number actually represents 41% of the total circulation. That 2.33 million Spark in circulation, that is removed from circulation. So the actual true circulating amount of Spark is 1.37 million Spark tokens, which, you know, we could argue that that's still quite a bit, and the inflation's high. You know, we see it in the chats over the whole weekend. Inflation's high, this and that. But really, from our starting supply to now, we're only 1.7x the initial starting supply. And if you actually wanted to compare apples to apples, which, and I'm not throwing shade at Maxis, I'm not throwing shades at other yield farm protocols, but we've actually got a lower inflation rate than a lot of these other protocols, and we're also not diluting the farms and the pools to lower the APRs right out of the gate. You know, that's the number one thing that I see a lot of these protocols do, where they should start implementing farms, they implement pools, and then it just dilutes everybody else. We're wanting to avoid that, and so far we're doing a really great job. Yeah, obviously, you know, the price is down. The APRs are slightly down. Take that with a grain of salt. Like AJ said, as the Spark price increases in price, all of the APRs in the ecosystem go up. And to tie that in with the apples to apples, if you actually take a look at the incentive token, the emission rate for the incentive token is the exact same as what we have here at Sparkswap. Am I saying it's going to go up to $77 per token? No, not necessarily. But if we're going to compare apples to apples, we need to take the inflation rate 1-to-1. And if you're complaining about the inflation rate to Spark, you should also complain about the inflation rate to the incentive token. Now, I realize that the incentive token does have a halving model, and I'm not necessarily sure if the Spark token has that now or could be implemented in the future, but it's overly bullish with the amount of Spark that's being removed from circulation through the Sparkler. And I mean, that thing's been printing out at like, what was it? It was about 3 to 4% daily. I think today it's about 1 to 1.5%. But that's also real yield. It's not like you're just minting tokens and earning tokens to sell. It's real yield and causes also upward buy pressure. So at some point, we will see an apex on how much Sparkler gets shoved into the Sparkler contract, as well as the buying pressure as we go into this next bull run. That's not financial advice. That's just kind of my thesis on it. But I'm continuing to. So me personally, I'm taking my Sparkler rewards. I'm selling the Pulse for Spark and increasing my ownership, especially at these low values, because as the Spark token declines in price, you can actually get more shares, which is what your real yield revenue is based off of, for a less dollar amount spent. And I think that that's extremely bullish in the long run. And another thing to mention too, Sparkswap's only been around for 10 to 11 days. I forget the exact day count, but Sparkswap, actually, the Sparkswap LP is the 14th largest holder of PLS on all of Pulsechain, which is extremely bullish, because not only do we have extreme deep liquidity, we've got the market cap that matches it, and we've also got all of the upside potential that Pulse has to drag us up forward. That's just a little bit that I was able to gather on chain. And I know that was quite a bit to take in, and I'm kind of talking fast, but having 41% of the minted Spark since launch locked away and gone, depending how many people are in the 3650 squad, is actually extremely bullish in my opinion. I don't see where we can go wrong having utility and a lower inflation rate than much of the yield farms that are currently on Pulsechain. You couple that with the bridge and the fees that go on to the Sparkler to pay out users in real revenue, and then the future that we combine by moving into a DEX with protocol-owned liquidity. I think it's just onward and upward from here, even if the price slides a little bit lower,
I love it, Vino. Yes, brother. Always love having you on. Every time you start talking, I imagine myself as that gif of too bullish. I just want to start shaking and getting excited. So yeah, and again, the numbers get me excited because numbers don't lie. And again, you could take our word for it. We're trying to be as transparent as we can, but the numbers again are a law. I mean, we can't manipulate that in any other way. So that's why I get so excited when again Vino comes on, or anybody does a lot of the on-chain data and really puts numbers behind everything that we're saying. So Vino, thank you, brother. You've been a gem in the community, one of our OG members, and really stepping up all that you do. Again, all of you. I don't want to single anybody else out, but those of you that have really stepped up know who you are, and it would not be possible without all of you. So, and just to recap a little bit of what Vino said, that 41% of all the circulating supply locked up in Sparkler, that will eventually provide what we call a squeeze on the price as well. So when we, it's not if, it's when we relaunch the bridge, which we'll talk about here in a minute. That's a whole nother topic today. But once that happens, there could be so much revenue generated from the bridge that, and people want exposure to our protocol through Spark, but now there's really not a lot of Spark in circulation, and by reducing this, circulating supply, you have a squeeze, and that could really send Spark up. Again, I'm not here to say it's going to moon. I'm not here to speculate on the actual price, but these are very healthy economic models that we purposely design into the protocol. So, and again, one last point about being that, I don't know if you all heard that, but the LP, again, it's hard to say because we don't own the LP. The LP is owned by all of you and can be withdrawn at any time, but the accumulated amount of LP in Spark and Pulse, we're the 14th largest holder of Pulse on the entire Pulse chain. So if that doesn't get you bullish, I don't know what will. And again, because our liquidity is so deeply tied to Pulse, if we see a 2-3x overnight in Pulse, that could easily drag Spark 2, 3x along with it. Now, again, because of the way that AMM works, it's not a 1-for-1 ratio like that, but I'm just trying to demonstrate, the potential. So, all right, awesome. All right, a few more key points, and then we can obviously take some questions as well. But one of the things is the bridge. So, again, the bridge is in final testing. We have everything ready to roll. We were running into some gas issues. So, again, I commented on this on one of our posts as well. But with any new chain like Pulse or any layer ones and layer twos that are launching, the network activity is solely tied to the gas prices. So as we've seen with other protocols like Zen, basically clogging up the networks, you can get insane gas fees because the networks are so busy. Well, again, we just want to make sure that we're prepared for that. We're probably going to have a fluctuating gas algorithm just to make sure that no transactions fail. Because again, when you're dealing with a bridge and you're bridging, but then the gas transaction fails, people get really touchy and scared that their funds are gone when really it's just a failed gas transaction, and then we would have to manually, or the code would have to scan the chain to see what transactions didn't go through and then refund them. But again, it's a lot more complicated than it sounds, and we're just trying to plan for every edge case. But the bridge should be really, really soon. Again, I don't want to give a date, just like Fusion, but I think all of you will be pleasantly surprised in the next, little bit. I mean, we're really close. And why this is so bullish is because that is revenue that is directly put back into our ecosystem. So as of right now, the breakdown that we're moving forward with is a 0.5%, 0.5% fee on bridging. That is just 0.2% higher than the Ethereum to Pulse bridge. But you have to remember on BSC, you're paying, up to 10 times less in gas fees. So it'll be cheaper for you to bridge overall, even with the higher fee on the bridge itself. So and then that will be broken up into 0.1% to developer costs, 0.1% to EMP, and 0.3% to Spark or Sparkler. So again, that will be real revenue that is going directly into Sparkler to deepen our liquidity, provide more buying pressure on Spark, and reward all of you that are in Sparkler. So if you're bullish on the bridge and essentially want to own a part of the bridge, then you have to be inside of Sparkler. So, all right. LA, anything about the bridge or anything that Vino talked about that you want to elaborate on before we move on?
Yeah, one thing, I just wanted to point out how bullish it is that the percentage of the circulating supply is growing so much week to week. If you recall, last week we shared the stat that 32% was locked up, and this week on Monday we're sharing 41%. So every week that stat seems to be growing because more and more of you realize truly how powerful Sparkler really is. And the more and more that number keeps growing, the more bulletproof our protocol is going to become, the more sustainable, the more we're going to be moving towards these models that AJ's just spent time speaking about and educating about. It's all very powerful. So I almost can't wait till next Monday when we get to update the stats again. So
Yeah.
And shout out to we just got back to 57 cents, so we're on the rise.
All right, I love it. We broke past some support. Again, every time we get on these AMAs, I think it gets people excited. And who doesn't love a good AMA pump, right, LA? So yeah, and again, those are, for the TA fans out there, technical analysis. We are now back in an uptrend. We broke some key resistance, and things are looking super healthy. And yeah, just to continue to piggyback on the whole bridge, bullishness, is that we're solving a problem, and it's a great product market fit. The bridge is, because there really is no other option out there. Again, if you're transferring, $1,000 or more, then maybe the ETH fees aren't that impactful to you. But for somebody that wants to bring over, 100, 200, $300 at a time, those ETH fees can eat you alive. And not only are we providing this service to our protocol, Sparkswap, but we're really providing the service to all of Pulsechain. And again, I've said this many times. I'm an OG Hexagon. Whether you like Richard Hart or not is a personal opinion, but I happen to think he's one of the smartest people in crypto, and we want to support Pulsechain, and allowing a BSC to Pulse Bridge could really drive a ton more volume and adoption to Pulsechain. And any kind of onboarding or off ramps is bullish for the network overall. And if we're literally allowing them to onboard right into Sparkswap, maybe they don't go anywhere else. Maybe they add into the farms and pools to continue to grow their bags and have a way to earn on Pulse. Again, even now, we talked about this in the last AMA. There's like $20 million or more inside of the farms on Pulse X, and we're providing, even though we're rehypothecating to Pulse X, the yields on our farms, even the same pairs, are way higher APR, because again, we're providing that Spark token on top of the Pulse X pools. So if any of the whales or any of the participants realize that, as we continue to grow and become more and more trusted, we could really bring in a lot of TVL from Pulse X, and again, allow people to earn even more through our protocol. So those are all part of the long-term goals that we have, and slowly but surely we're ticking those off the list for sure. So all of this also is a great way to drive more adoption and more interest in EMP as well. So LA, you want to talk about that really quick? I think, by having this multi-prong approach, some haters may see it as a distraction, but in reality, it's bringing even more eyeballs back to EMP and L1 DEX for sure.
It for sure is, and what I'm going to announce in a little bit, you'll see that our marketing approach is designed to do just that. But you'll notice that when I announced the AMA tonight, I said our EMP ecosystem AMA, because truly we are building an entire ecosystem now. And when we do these AMAs, we're giving highlights on EMP, on Fusion, on L1 DEX, on Sparkswap, on everything we have going on under our umbrella. We're building an entire fortress, an ecosystem. And everything we're doing right now with our marketing is designed to help elevate and boost the entire ecosystem. We're bringing in some of the most incredible community members, and they may attend one of these AMAs to find out information about one of the things we're doing, and something we say may spark their interest in something else that we're doing, and they get to be educated and learn about everything going on under the EMP umbrella. It's incredible. Someone the other day posted, I wish that our engagement in the EMP group was growing. And I quickly went into the admin back end of the group and just screenshotted and showed our Telegram and the EMP, our engagement rates have at that moment last week had grown by 32%. even people that hadn't been active in months had come back and started to be excited to chat in our groups again, because there's a lot of positive energy and excitement, and people are excited to be back being involved. And so it's not even always about bringing in new people. It's also about re-engaging the people that you already have. As much as I hate to say it, there are people that run away for months and come back when the money's there. And as much as we like to shout out and appreciate all of you who have been here this whole time, with us through everything, there's going to be a handful of those people as well, and we're re-engaging all of those people, and our engagement rates have gone up in our EMP group, along with all of the new people that we've brought in as well. And so we see that in the engagement rates. We see new people joining, but we also see a huge spike in the existing people re-engaging. And so everything we're doing right now is designed to boost the entire ecosystem. We don't believe in competing against anyone but ourselves, but we plan to absolutely dominate DeFi.
I love it. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what does. So absolutely, LA. And again, that is the mentality that all of us share here. And I said this on one of the other AMAs, but we have every intention of being, the Pancakeswap or the Uniswap of Pulse. And that is a big goal and a big undertaking. But with our commitment and community and developers, I think that is absolutely achievable, and sooner than later as well. And with all that being said, we are continuing to transition and add even more bullish things to Sparkswap, where we become an actual DEX. Again, right now we're kind of a pseudo DEX because our LP still lives on top of PulseX. And again, we're with the rehypothecation. It's a great way for us to earn without a lot of effort in terms of code. But eventually, the idea is that we do move into our own LP. We start actually again acting as an actual decentralized exchange. We then are able to arbitrage between our own LP tokens. That is potentially a massive revenue stream. We're able to onboard partner projects that want to put their liquidity with us. In turn, we are able to offer them, rewards and incentivized pools. So again, there's just so much that we can do, moving forward, and even bring tech that we haven't even seen on Pulse yet. Again, I don't want to drop too much alpha because today's been an amazingly bullish AMA, but there's a lot of partners that we have. Again, a lot of you may be able to put two and two together with who we use and who we partnered with for L1 DEX that have some really proprietary tech that could be really, really powerful on Pulse and Sparkswap specifically. So, creating revenue streams is not the hard part. The hard part is just continuing to, build in a bear market and make sure that we have a community that supports us no matter, when times get tough or not. And again, to LA's point, we've seen that in EMP. The sentiment is definitely changing. We've seen some major buys on EMP and eShare. So it's all happening in due time. So all right, and then we have one more big announcement. But before we get to that, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Again, that will really help our numbers. And if you want to hear what's coming next, you gotta do that. So everybody, like, comment, subscribe, and again, we'd love to hear from you in the live chat too. But LA, I don't want to steal your thunder because this is definitely your wheelhouse. But what is our announcement? Go ahead.
We're doing a massive giveaway in Twitter Space.
Oh, I love it.
I can't do the cool sheet singing. I'm sorry. I wish I could.
We did it.
I do sing, but not like that. I can't pull that off. I wish I could. But Wednesday night we're going for record numbers. So invite your friends, invite your family members. We're hosting a big giveaway. So all the details are on our Twitter right now. I'm going to post the links in our YouTube as well. And basically, we're going to be giving away 2 prizes, and we are going to give some alpha on our Twitter space. We are going to have a lot to share, and we want to see you all there. It's going to massively help to grow the account. I know you want to help to bring lots more users into the protocol. And this is what I was talking about. We're actually using this giveaway and Twitter space as a way to boost the entire ecosystem. You'll see when you get on that giveaway post what I mean. So
Yeah,
we're
100%.
excited.
I love it. So yeah, we've had some great success with Twitter Spaces. Again, we just did one on L1 Dex with a record turnout and amazing engagement. So yeah, please make sure you invite everybody to the massive Twitter Space and giveaway again Wednesday evening. All of that will be in our socials to get ready. And again, that's just one more bit of marketing we'll be doing, and we'll be dropping some again more alpha on that as well. So, all right, awesome. Well,
When
yeah,
you
go ahead, Ellie.
Sorry, I just want
Yeah,
to add on. When you get onto the giveaway post, make sure to or I may even tomorrow just post the Twitter space as well. Make sure to tag all of your Hexakin, Pulsechain, influencers, friends, or even um, quote the retweet and post it with anyone that you know that you want to see this event. When we've done Twitter spaces in the past, we get great turnouts. I guess it's because we don't do them super often. So when we do, it kind of spikes the algorithm. I don't know what it is, but with this Sparkswap account, because it's been growing so fast, we have a ton of followers on there, and it's growing every single day. I have a feeling it's going to really rev up that algorithm. So let's do our thing. And if everyone sends it out to a few people that they know, we're going to have a massive turnout, and pretty pumped about that.
yeah, no doubt. Well, and like Ellie said, leveraging the influencers is also a great strategy too. I know, we have amazing relationships with some of our long-term supporters, but now it's time for us to get in front of, the Hexicans, the Pulse Maxis. I mean, again, inviting them to a Twitter space where they can hear a little bit about the team, the background, why we're here, that we're one of the good guys. I mean, all that goes really far. And yeah, I mean, I've been DMing with Crypto Coffee. A lot of the Hex and Pulse, influencers are wanting good protocols to go into. And unfortunately, they're few and far between on Pulse right now. So again, tag and obviously be respectful, but definitely tag some influencers and other projects that may be interested in knowing more about Sparkswap. So, all right, awesome. Well, before I cut off LA a little prematurely there, I was going to say time for Q&A, but yeah, anything you want to go over before we get to questions, LA, or jump right in? Go ahead.
No, that I do want to give a big shout out. I'm not going to start naming names because there's quite a few and I don't want to miss anyone, but I do want to just say there are some people in the community who have been going above and beyond to support the entire EMP ecosystem and really, promote this new project and, do a lot of things behind the scenes to support. And I just want to give a big shout out because it's a huge help to us. And, we absolutely love and adore all of you guys. So always want to take a moment to say things like that and not forget.
Yeah, could not agree more. Again, we always have our eye out for, amazing community members that, like LA said, are going above and beyond, and um, we'll also have an updated reward system, for lack of a better word, for those people that we'll be announcing shortly. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for all that.
Awesome. So I'm going to start today with the YouTube comments because I noticed some that I want to make sure I don't miss because there's quite a lot of chat in here. So, let me scroll up here. Okay, do you want to just quickly touch on how safe Sparkswap is in regards to our audit?
Yeah. Yeah, hang on. Sorry, LA. I had everything muted. Yeah, so, I'm famous for that. I was on a good streak. I hadn't done that in a while. Anyway, so yeah, we take our security very, very seriously, and yeah, we again went through an entire audit on Sparkswap. We went through OXGuard. You know, they're a great mid-level auditing agency. Obviously, you know, we didn't want to spend 50 grand on a Certec audit right out the gate. And a lot of this code is already code that is battle tested. I mean, our base code is the MasterChef contracts that, you know, 1,000 different protocols have used without any issues. We just build some proprietary code on top of that, again, i.e. Sparkler. And Sparkler, again, had no issues. So, but what there was is there was a total of 3 high severity issues that OXGuard thought that they needed to highlight. 2 of them we fixed, no problem. But the third one had to do with our rehypothecation. So there was a slight edge case. And again, you know, shout out to OXGuard for doing all the due diligence of an actual legitimate audit, where there would be an edge case that when you would call the emergency withdrawal function on the code itself, that with the rehypothecated farms, there would be an issue getting your rewards out. You know, you would still be able to get your tokens, but it would break the reward math. And really, you know, there will always be a front end. You know, even other community members outside of us have put together front ends for our other protocols that you can always access and withdraw your funds even from the rehypothecated farms. So again, this is just a very small edge case, and you know, we could have fixed this, but it would have been very detrimental to the protocol because we would have literally had to relaunch every time that we wanted to add new rehypothecated farms, and obviously that isn't a way that we can do business. So, you know, again, everything is accounted for. It's nothing malicious. Yes, it's still an open, you know, quote unquote, issue. But again, in terms of security and getting, you know, access to your funds, you'll always be able to withdraw your LP from any of those pools. So, and again, that will be very irrelevant when we move to our own LP anyway. So it didn't make sense to relaunch, you know, on a very minor edge case where we're going to be moving to our own LP and moving away from rehypothecation anyway in the long term. So, yeah, and feel free to reach out to OXGuard or to, you know, us in Telegram or any of our socials for a further explanation on that. Again, I try to simplify things and not get too much in the weeds with the dev side, but I'm sure our devs would be happy to answer. So, does that help, LA?
Absolutely. Okay, here's another one. Have you guys ever thought about doing an OTC desk for whales who are looking to exit?
Yeah, so I mean, again, there's that fine line of centralization and decentralization. You know, even with the OTC type structure, you know, the money still has to come from somewhere. And you know, obviously, we're building our treasury, not only in EMP but in Sparkswap. But you know, that is a whole nother level of implementation. So the short answer is no. You know, the idea is that we want to make we want to make Spark so attractive that there is no need to OTC. You know, our brain power and our dev time is way more suited to solving that than building out an OTC. Where it wouldn't affect the price on the chart. So, and it's okay. I mean, if whales are going to sell, like I said at the very beginning of this AMA, you know, you have to start training your brain to think of it that as an opportunity. And yeah, obviously it sucks when, you know, you buy and the price goes down, but in our protocol, you actually make money through the yield. Again, not really the price is secondary. If you're actually earning more Spark, and then putting that Spark into Sparkler and then earning PLS, instead. So again, it's all relative.
Awesome. Will be higher multipliers for the rehypothecated farms, so more funds will be parked there?
Yeah, so we experimented with that. Again, another great question, by the way, but we experimented with that with the hex pool, and again, maybe some alpha for you. Again, hopefully by the Twitter space, it'll actually be live, but we will be implementing more of the PulseX farms that are rehypothecated. Again, that's just a way for us to earn more through the ink rewards. So that is a little bit alpha here at the very end. We should have another pool, or maybe even a few more pools by the end of the week that utilize the PLSX rewards.
Awesome. So when Spark is no longer minted, does that mean Sparkler only giving out PLS as a reward?
Yeah, so again, this is a great question because this is what people think, but it's actually way more bullish than that. So again, Sparkler does not emit Spark. The Spark that is emitted through Sparkler is Spark that has been bought on the market. So even when we reduce or eliminate the inflation, it's Spark that's actually being bought back and then distributed. So very similar to like a stock, buyback or other mechanisms like that. It's pure buying pressure on Spark. And again, this is really healthy for the economics. So no, you will always be rewarded in Spark PLS, but we're continuing to buy Spark off the market with the fees that we generate. And again, if we're doing, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day in fees, I mean, that could be amazing buy pressure on Spark. And again, as we reduce inflation, this real yield model is so powerful because that is yield that is every single day, no matter what, obviously there has to be volume, but no matter how many new users or, other external factors, it's just constantly buying and distributing Spark day after day after day after day. So again, when you wrap your head around that, you start to realize how bullish Sparkler is. Yeah.
Amazing. That's actually all the questions we have. I think one
Those
more
were
person.
good. Those were fire questions, LA. That was from YouTube or what? Yeah, those were really good today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think one more person might want to unmute themselves quickly.
All right, I love it. Some more
Do
surprise
a little
guests.
singing, or I don't know.
Get to the chopper.
I love it, Cool Street. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
What's up, my bro? How you doing, man?
Good, bro. Good. I have to say, I'm loving your YouTube coverage. Definitely plug your channel. I'm sure you have some more bullish Spark updates coming for sure. So,
Bro, I'm so bullish, bro. Man, me and Vino been going back and forth in DMs, just talking trash about how bullish we are. Man, every day I'm loading up the 3650 squad, boy. Every damn day, 400%. I mean, where else you gonna get 400% increase? That's beautiful, baby. I'm bullish on Sparkler. Look at Sparkswap, baby. Look at Sparkswap. It could be the next Pancakeswap, bruh. I mean, this is so bullish. And then you got to like and subscribe, because then later on you're gonna get Fusion, the synergy coming from Fusion. I'm sure you got some tricks up your sleeve for that. Wink, wink.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, bro, I'm stacking my bags, bro. I'm stacking my bags. That one's for LA.
I love it. Oh my God. I'm dying, Cool Sheet. Oh, right on, brother. Well, again, man, I appreciate all the love and support. You were one of our OGs, and it's exciting to see you get fired up about Sparkswap. And yeah, bro, you're 100% right. It will all feed the EMP mothership over the long run, for sure.
Sweet, bro. I love you, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Thank you.
All right, love you too, brother. So there you go,
Love
everybody.
it.
Hey, a guest appearance from Cool Sheet. Again, make sure you check out his channel. LA, you can post the official links all around. Again, he does some great coverage in a very comical way of Sparkswap. But you know, Cool Sheet's 100% right. I mean, we are continuing to feed the ecosystem. We have a bunch of tricks up our sleeves that we haven't even really fully, revealed yet. And the more that we build, the more that we grow the community, we absolutely are able to compete with the big dogs, like Cool Sheet said, the Pancakeswap, of Pulse. Will have the first mover advantage, and really transition into being a full-fledged DEX. And then by then we're fully poised to integrate with the hopeful, future interoperability of L1X, and now we have a built-in protocol to use with L1 DEX to provide pulse side liquidity. So again, we're out here playing chess and not checkers. We're making moves 5-10 steps ahead of what everybody is seeing right now, and that will not change. I mean, we again are building our asses off to make all this a reality. So all right, I'm fired up. That was a great. Every time we get Cool Sheets, I get even more excited. So and today was double. Vino, Cool Sheet. I mean, man, the whole crew is in the house. So LA, any yeah, no doubt. Any other final comments or other
Yes,
thoughts? Or yeah, go
one
ahead.
thing.
Hmm.
There was one thing I actually forgot to ever mention. Probably should have mentioned it by now. I was just kind of assuming that people noticed, but that was probably not wise. On our Sparkswap Discord, under the media tab, I've actually been posting the links to every single YouTube coverage video that we've gotten, so that it's all in one spot. So I just posted the link into the YouTube comments, but you have to be a member of the Sparkswap Discord for that link to function. But that's the link directly to the media tab where all of those links are. So if you want to check out Cool Sheets videos, all the links are there, as well as all the other coverage we've gotten so far. And just to say it one more time, there's going to be a few more links added this week because we got some more AMAs coming up. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, totally, LA. The AMA train continues, and again, we'll have much more updates with L1 Dex, and obviously Fusion as well. Right now the bridge is the #1 priority because that will be actual revenue, not only to Sparkler but back to EMP. But once that's out, and again we're really really close, then all the focus will shift back towards Fusion. Again, the final touches of just wiring everything together, and then it'll be out. And that's another thing too, not to start a whole nother topic here, but right now the momentum is with Sparkswap, and we need to just kind of establish that, and allow our devs to work on Fusion. But just imagine how, or not even imagine, look at the proof of how successful the launch of Sparkswap was, and imagine that in in a very soon time frame. Again, I don't want to give a date, but imagine all that applied to fusion. I think that is so massive. And those of you loading up on EMP and eShare now, maybe you take some Spark, profit and go into EMP and eShare. I mean, again, we're not here to give financial advice. It's up to all of you, but we have a very bright horizon in front of us, and the end of the year, having L1X and L1 Dex out of beta and fully functioning with seamless cross-chain swaps. I mean, again, I couldn't even write a more bullish roadmap of what we have coming. So I just hope all of you realize that, and please, if you don't realize that, ask questions and get more involved and really learn about what is happening here. So all right, that being said, I think we're gonna wrap it up. LA, again, any final last words before we call it an evening?
No, I'm just in my giggling phase, so I'm gonna end it there.
Yes, we know we had a good AMA when LA is giggling uncontrollably at the end. So, oh man. All
Cool
right.
Sheet did me in.
Yeah, totally. Anytime Cool Sheet's around, we can't help ourselves. So, all right, everybody. Well, again, thank you all for the support. Much love to all of you. We have an amazing week lined up of news and AMAs. Bullish Twitter space on Wednesday. Another AMA like this one on Thursday, and a bunch more coming. So again, good night, good day. We'll see you all soon. Bye bye.